Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
New activation and upfront payment for 3-month plan required. Taxes and fees extra. Additional restrictions apply. See mintmobile.com for full terms.
On today's Smart 7, Tory's call to cut migration, Wimbledon fever begins and lots more. It's Tuesday the 4th of July, it's Independence Day and happy birthday Neil Morrissey.
The Smart 7. It's news, but
Not the news. Another week, another Tory plan to cut migration. The twist this time is that it's Conservative backbenchers calling on Rishi Sunak to be tougher on illegal migrants. The so-called New Conservatives have warned the Prime Minister he risks losing the next election if he doesn't cut net migration. They've issued a 12-point plan to cut net migration by about 400,000 before the next election, which includes limiting visas for care workers. Tory MP for Bury North, James Daly, launched the campaign on Monday.
And this is not about us and them, this is about numbers. And the simple fact, which many people want to overlook, is that the people in this country take a strong view. And that view is we want to reduce numbers.
But Labour peer Baroness O'Grady thinks this focus on numbers is daft.
I think most people think these kind of broken promises on numbers are just daft.
And Labour's Stephen Morgan says a rebellion on the backbenchers is bad news for Rishi.
I think this shows that we've got a weak Prime Minister that can't control his own backbenchers, and we've obviously got a clear plan that we've set out, and the government are divided on this.
The summer of strikes looks set to continue as train drivers and doctors are planning more walkouts. A tough few months lie ahead with the RMT union set for industrial action on the 20th, 22nd and 29th of July. Meanwhile, further restrictions from ASLEF on overtime means that train services are likely to be interrupted throughout the month. And it doesn't look like there's a pay deal in sight, as ASLEF boss Mick Whelan reveals there aren't even any high-level negotiations going on.
It's a Westminster problem, and this is dogma rather than industrial.
We were under the impression that you were getting on better with this Transport Secretary.
I haven't seen him since before Christmas. I haven't seen the Rail Minister since January the 6th. I was getting on better. I can't say I'm getting on better with people I haven't met for 6 months.
Meanwhile, NHS workers are also set to strike as Dr Arjun Singh of the BMA says the NHS isn't safe even on non-strike days thanks to a lack of staff and funding.
I'm by no means saying that the NHS is safe on a normal day, because it's not. Because we don't have enough doctors and we don't have enough resources. And actually, due to a lack of resources and doctors, we have one patient dying unnecessarily every 20 minutes.
Things aren't looking good for Vladimir Putin. That's according to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. It comes after the head of the Wagner paramilitary group, Yevgeny Prigozhin, launched a short-lived mini-mutiny marching towards Moscow before he agreed to stand down. Zelensky says that Putin's response proves that his grip on power is crumbling.
We see Putin's reaction. It's weak. Firstly, we see he doesn't control everything. Wagner's moving deep into Russia and taking certain regions shows how easy it is to do. All of us understand that his whole army is in Ukraine.
And in another blow to Putin, an international prosecution office has opened in The Hague to investigate Russia's invasion of Ukraine. It's the first step towards a possible tribunal for Moscow's leadership, as France 24's Douglas Herbert explains.
This is a center that is supposed to be able to find a way to hold Russia accountable for what is the original sin, the invasion of Ukraine, and the ensuing violation of its territorial integrity.
The Cabinet Office published a new investigation on Monday which says Sue Gray broke the rules over her new job with Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer. They say she failed to declare the offer quickly enough to her line manager. But the investigation doesn't appear to have any substance or witnesses and contradicts last week's report by the Official Advisory Committee on Business Appointments. The Cabinet Office describes it as a prima facie case, but it seems like that translates to a nothing burger. And head of ACOBA, Lord Pickles, says it's just another example of a chaotic government.
It's not just a problem in terms of the people that ACOBA regulate. Below them at level, there is organised anarchy taking place, and undoubtedly there will be a scandal sooner or later.
Still to come on the Smart 7, new balls please, and Tom Cruise gets excited by stunts. Right after this. Welcome back.
One of Britain's most iconic sporting events of the year got underway on Monday as tennis fans around the world celebrated the start of Wimbledon. It's all to play for as Novak Djokovic looks to win his 8th title on the hallowed grass, and two-time Wimbledon champion Andy Murray looks for a deep run into the second week. This year's prize fund is the highest ever at a staggering £44.7 million. Day one saw Venus Williams' comeback end in the first round, but Djokovic sailed through to round two and he was delighted.
I've said it many times throughout my career, coming to Wimbledon was always the dream. You know, each year I come back, I kind of relive those memories and connect with that young boy that was, you know, dreaming in Serbia to win the biggest and most important tennis tournament in the world.
He's a real-life action man renowned for doing it all without the help of a Hollywood stuntman. Yes, Tom Cruise is back as Ethan Hunt in his latest instalment of the action franchise Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1, which hits theatres on the 12th of July. But does he really manage all of those death-defying stunts himself? The answer is yes, according to the Mission Impossible star, who says he does it to form a connection with the audience.
It's different. There's stakes. There's real stakes. And it's also all technically all the things that I'm handling, and there's performance. So they can put cameras in places with me that you might not think of when you're doing CG. It has a different emotion for the audience. It has a different quality.
It's the celebrity documentary we've all been secretly waiting for. The iconic 80s duo Wham have made it to the big screen. The Wham documentary comes to Netflix this week, and wham bam thank you ma'am, are we in for a treat. It's not your typical sex, drugs and rock and roll type story, rather it focuses on the friendship of George Michael and Andrew Ridgeley, and that's what sets it apart.
I never felt that our music defined me in the same way that it did for George. For George, chart position was the ultimate validation.
I was forging an identity through my success, and by necessity, I went with full gusto into the progression of Wham.
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes and we'll give you the world.